a fever, and this 2-year-old's going through it. And when it hit me, I was like, I would give anything for you to be on my fucking entertainment center right now.
Yeah.
Just while getting into trouble. And now he does it, and I revert back to that illness and just submitting my emotions to be like, dude.
But as parents, we have to step back and remember them ages as well.
Yeah.
See, when we become parents, when we become parents, we automatically think we were never kids. So we handle our kids like we were always an adult. We always had it figured out. That's why, especially with mine, I can always revert back to every kid age that I have. I know 6. I know 12. I know 19. I know 20. You know what I'm saying? I know. I remember them ages. So judgment is off the table for me. You too? Guess what, bro? We used to eat dirt outside. We used to eat tree bark. Bro, we used to do some of the craziest things as kids, but it built our immune. Only thing that you supposed to be is that, let me see how far you gonna take this shit.
Maybe put the plastic back on the plugs.
Hey.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but if I'm watching you from an adult standpoint, I can never understand what it feels like to be
100.
a kid.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like,
when I said
that may look fun to you. You know,
leave the plastic off. You dumb enough? You ain't gonna get on it twice. Look, now I'm playing.
Hey, I don't have kids, so like I'm listening to y'all and I'm like, wow. And I'm
Kids
like, y'all
are
kind of like
amazing.
Kiko. I'm like, hey, go ahead and stick that butter knife.
No, I got a
bro.
kid.
Let's watch this.
I got a kid though.
I feel so much better about myself right now. I feel so much better.
I'm
like,
just crazy. But I got a kid too.
But a lot
I don't,
of
so I'm
things,
like, what?
see, a lot of things that people
yeah,
don't
I'm a kid,
understand
too.
is I would have never became the man I am without the kids that I have.
No
because I
shit.
would have stayed the
Preach it.
little boy that I always thought was the man, and I would have stayed in that phase and became a piece of shit of version of a man. So my first kid woke me up. The baddest part, it's not even the baddest part. I'm just gonna be honest. My oldest 2 kids, they grew up through me growing up. I was 20. I was young, dumb, knew everything. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
I got pretty kids, and that's all that mattered. Time didn't matter. Finances did. Time didn't, because I want to have fun still my own self. I want to be 21 and 22 and live it up. But the women have that as well. You know what I'm saying? So as I grew into a better man, I realized my younger kids have a different opportunity that my older kids had, because I wasn't grown when I had y'all.
Yeah.
I'm an adult now. I was a boy when I had y'all. So as I grow through life and take my accountability for where I fell off, I'm also willing to understand and grow from that. Because the pain that y'all know, I knew as well.
Yeah.
Y'all should have never went through that trauma, because I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I never do that to my youngest, because I know better now. I didn't know better then. I just thought, fun, me, self, my happiness.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to.
But I got him. I got him some new shoes. Guess what? I did get him some new shoes.
Yeah.
And I got him a new outfit for the week, but the weekend is coming up again.
Yeah. I didn't really see. I had my first at 30, so I lucked out. I'm not going to say, that's I did it right or anything like that. I got lucky. I got lucky that pull-out game was good all through my 20s, and like I didn't have an act, because I'd have been the same way.
Can't be raw dogging like that.
I was so
in that area.
I was So in fact, even when I was even being married, thinking that okay, I'm living a more selfless life. I'm doing things. I'm going places with their family, which was easy. Her family's fucking fun. Just doing all these things. I had no clue. And when I say thinking that I'm doing like being selfless, I really believed it until I had kids. And then I saw that baby boy and was like, dude, I'm the most selfish piece of shit on the planet. Because it was the first time loving something completely more than myself. Like, for real. You can't, I don't know. It's like you can't really understand that until you have kids.
What you think, Kiko? Because you got a baby girl.
About what?
New.
Just what?
Just on the strength of what we talked about it as far as what you would have been But what baby girl
becoming a parent? Oh my goodness!
Of the reality of
that's insane. No, it changes your whole perspective on life. But I don't know. I mean, I was always on the track and on the path, and like honestly, like everybody know how old I am. I'm 27. I didn't think I would be where I'm at.
37.
27.
37.
27.
30.
Anyways. I thought I would be where I'm at, just getting started at 30 years old. But having a kid and the pressures of it, and honestly, we're not trying to be religious, but God kind of led me here because, like, all these opportunities kept coming for me to have my own business. People giving me these, like, little plays. And I was 24 years old at the time. I had this plan at 30, but I had this kid and I had this mindset, and I'm like, I have to change my life for the better, and I have to just go out on this whim. And honestly, I had my big brother to look at because he was doing the shit already. So it's like, okay, let me go ahead and just do this, make these sacrifices for my child. But at the same time, as a person, like, I was, Papa was a Rolling Stone. I was that. I could have been that. But like having a daughter, it made me kind of just calm down in life. Like I don't really mess with anybody at this point. Like I'm just kind of set down and settled down because I have to be an example for her. I have to be the man that she wants to see.
Right.
So ultimately, for me, I've been trying to become that because she deserves everything. So let me be that, not the coddling dad, not the unrealistic, oh, my baby deserves. Let me be the man that she deserves to be. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've devoted kind of my life to be.
But when she's older, you're that example.
I'm that.
You know what I mean? Like
so any man that comes into her life that is not on the same par as
she won't even look their way.
But you know what I'm saying?
Boo. Because of me.
Yeah. But that in itself promotes stronger men, stronger relationships, stronger women,
stronger everything,
stronger.
And I'm gonna be that for not just her. I'm gonna mentor kids because my dad passed away when I was 7 years old. It's 20 years this year. That's why I'm the way I am. I experienced death at a very young age. God rest his soul. One of the greats. But still, it's like I see life and I've seen life for what it is since an early age. I know my brother is the fucking same way. So we've been just looking through these lenses, and that's why we relate and vibe the way that we do, because it's just like, okay, a lot of people like that. We don't get to be kids even to a degree. A lot of us. We got to grow up fast. So in a sense, having a kid, it kind of took me back to that point even of being a child and seeing the true points of life and a meaning of life and a meaning of happiness. So it's a lot to it.
And I think the greatest thing I ever heard from a broken woman was some kids had childhoods, some kids had to survive theirs. And we just want to be better than what we were taught. You know what I'm saying? So as we grow up to this word and this format of submission and 50-50, we need to dedicate that same submission and 50-50 into ourselves. Like I say, every day. Even God had a resting day. We don't take one. We work, we keep going, and then we wonder why we depressed, why we miserable, because we don't take time for ourselves. Right. Until we heal from the inside, we can never reflect what heal feels like on the outside. So we have to keep going in the version of, I'm better than yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Dr. Davis in the house, bro.
Everybody,
for real.
Bro, hey, everybody don't wake up the same way, but we all put our clothes on the same exact way. Until we willing to get out of our own way and stop living like everybody else is telling us we should live, we will keep failing as a whole. You know, from every facet of life, bro. Just submit to yourself, submit to your wants, and when you learn what your version of submit is, you can give it to the woman that you deserve to have, because you know what it is. You know what it feels like to submit to yourself, because most of us is missing dedication. Most of us are missing We just missing so much.
Yeah, the desire.
So if we just put all of that in, we'll find exactly what we looking at in that woman, and it don't have to be a surprise because she does it. You know what? You a good woman. Duh, because that's what you attracted. It's the law of attraction.
Come on.
Submission comes with what you willing to submit to. 50-50 comes with what you willing to 50-50 to. It's not what somebody else thinks. And I just like everybody's outlook because boss man, he has a family. You don't have kids. We all have kids. You know what I'm saying? So we are all looking at different vantage
And how
points.
I don't have kids at 43 years old, like, bro, that's amazing.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Because
God was like, we don't need more of you, bro.
maybe not
You
because
can still have kids. You don't
a
know,
lot
man.
of people get judged by their kids, but my kids saved me. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I know where I was heading. I was dead or doing a life sentence with my homeboys to this day.
Straight up.
But once I realized, bro, I was a horrible daddy first because everything had to be name brand. Tommy Hilfiger, this. I was a horrible father because it was materialistic.
Did you buy your bow?
No, I'm a top shelfer. You know. Let me talk about.
Right. Real shit,
But in reality, I was a horrible daddy because I thought being a father or a parent was materialistic.
Right.
What they wore, what they were seen on, and how they were perceived in public. Once I became a father again, I learned from my first lesson and made my second lesson better. But the thing about them two lessons, I was still a kid learning a lesson. Once I got to my other kids, them lessons at 20 and 22, they were no longer lessons. Them were growths now, because I learned from everything that didn't matter. I was so worried about being a parent was how everybody else perceived me as a parent versus being a fucking parent that I didn't have. I was lost. Most of us without a father, without a mother, we walk this journey lost until you can shake hands with what your version of a man should be.
An example.
And
that's what I found. I mean, like I said, my pops passed away at a young age, and how do you know how to be a man? How do you know examples? Because you can have your ideas of submission and 50-50 and the ideologies of the day-to-day, but you got to find it, and we form our own. So I found my versions, and not a lot of people do that, but as a kid, I always just wanted to really just be like a man's man. I don't know why I was so obsessed with that, but I was. And I'm thankful for it now because it's played into my favor in the long run. But that's ultimately what's needed is guidance, more mentoring, more counseling inside the family, outside the family, and people just got to have the right intentions with this shit.
And like I said, like everybody has their trials and tribulations through life.
Yeah.
I feel like my biggest and my worst experience was growing up and seeing too fast. I went through something really traumatic at the age of 4 or 5 years old. I woke up right then and there and seen what life really was. Something I should have never went through at that age. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my siblings. God rest her. You know what I'm saying? But I woke up to that. You know what I'm saying? And I still hear the scream. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40 years old. I was 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as I went through life, I was always willing to make friends. I was never willing to follow none of them. Because why? You know what I'm saying? Why do I want to do dumb shit like you just to fit in? You know, just to be a part of the in crowd. I've never been a group type of person.
Yeah.
I've always been Shane, and I've always been proud to be that person. I never want to be anybody else. But also, I don't stand in the mirror and look at myself and look at my past and blame my past for my future. I just learn from it.
It's good.
You know what I'm saying? My biggest flex that my mama showed me, love her dearly. My biggest flex, you showed me how to struggle. Because if I never knew how to struggle and my bank account got down to a -2, -6, I wouldn't know what to do. But I know how to fill water jugs up. I I know I like candles.
Us white boys just let it go into overdrive, homie. I'm gonna tell you for real. Like, hey,
but certain people, if they mental ain't right, like I talked about earlier, I saw a guy that was a single dad that took his own life because of something as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So it's a big thing.
Lesson. What's good about that? Because very opposite. We are poor, very poor. You know, I saw stuff as kids I shouldn't have, but it was always from an exterior. You know, I saw people cooking meth. I saw people. You know, I saw all that, but I always came home to a moral, like what you saw was wrong, which I think is incredibly important. You know, so, and I'm lucky because I, even as a young adult, I went through those broke moments, and my mind says it wasn't like that. I saw my account at -30, and I didn't want to take my own life or anything, but instead of that, born through struggle, I was lucky enough to it being born from a father who had that example of like, this is not, you call us, you do whatever, if you're in these hard times, you are gonna be out of it. And that was instilled in me at a young age, which is a good thing, because like I said, the areas we lived in weren't that great, so I could go out and see bad things and still be at peace, because I knew this may be how the world is, but you can still go to a place,
and that's
how the world should be.
Once again, why I'm so thankful that I would never know that you came from a struggle because you had a father. Everybody thinks that somebody who come from mother and father, you're well off. You know what I'm saying? But you had the same obstacles that most of us had. You know what I'm saying? You just dealt with it in a different light. See, what you seen from that side, on my side, I seen the gang banging was cool. That was the way to go. Selling drugs was straight. You know, that was the way to go. You know, pimping, you know, that was just the way to go. That was the norm that I grew up in, fascinated with. You know what I'm saying? So I migrated to it because the gift of gab, we came from that era. I came from having to talk to a woman. Hey, we take the pen and the paper to the, hey, let's see who we get the most numbers, bro.
Hey, Mr. Davis.
Yeah.
I gotta throw this out there. My older mentality, all street. How I grew up, very, very affluent, right next to Cassia Hall. You know where that's at,
I know
right?
what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I spent the first 9-10 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? Very affluent neighborhood, the way people carry themselves. Me, I was drawn to, because like my dad was, I'm not gonna dog him because he's dead now, but like he wasn't a good dad. Okay, we'll just fucking say that. Okay,
you got to tell the truth, dead or not. You got to speak the truth. I know you got your own morals, but that's just my.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure a way to word it, but there's no other way to word it.
You got to tell the truth, man. Yeah.
So like growing up in that very affluent neighborhood, right? And he was a part of, and I'm not gonna say where we're at because he was on the police department. I watched him beat my mom till her jaw was disintegrated, had to get plastic surgery to rewire her shit, right? That's how I grew up seeing, like, that's a man. Me trying to recognize that is not what a man is.
14-point land.
Right?
How long did it take you?
Men's Talk on K84
Until I was about 5. And then like you were talking about earlier, right? Like you'd seen things, right? You shouldn't have seen it at that young age because it made you grow up. You've seen the world in a different light. Yeah.
But
because in that moment, right? Like, hey, it's a fairy tale. Like, we live in this rich ass neighborhood, right? Like everything, like Christmas is the shit, right? Like all the family members, all the holidays. It's that almost National Lampoons full of fucking assholes type thing, right? Like, and the reality of it is behind closed doors. And I'm telling you from experience, that's the most fucked up environment to be in. Because they can hide it better, but at the same time, like, and it goes back to that, like, you would have known that about him, right? I identify with you on a street level, right? That's the click of the game. I bet if I never told you that's how I spent the first 10, 12 years of my life in a very affluent neighborhood, you'd assume like I grew up over there on the north side or the west, like the far west side.
I'll say Sand Springs.
Oakhurst.
But can I be honest with you?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm trying to add validity to what you're talking about is that's real. Like, But also, as a man, right, who we are and what we're born into does not dictate who we become. Like, my dad was not... That motherfucker had like 20 jobs. He had more workman's comp claims than he did jobs. You know what I'm saying? He was that kind of individual. And I'm sorry that he's dead, and I'm not trying to dash him, but I'm speaking truth. Right?
Everybody does.
But anyways, let me finish this,
Go
right?
ahead.
Like, so I got into the welding trade because I had an uncle that did welding. His son did welding, and they made a good living, right? Like, I've never given a fuck to be a superstar, millionaire, billionaire. Like, I want to make a good living, an honest living, because most of my life was not an honest living. Like, I want to be able to go to work, make the money, and feel like I earned it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know where the fuck I'm going right now.
But let me listen. Let me give you this, okay? I'm gonna give you a different way to look at Pops, because in all actuality, this is our biggest failure, and this would help you go so much further. Just all of us as men, you know what I'm saying? Parents teach their kids how to be better parents than what they came from. So you never know what your daddy's parents or how they raised him, and you never know what has been trickled down.
Oh, I know.
But give me this. I never judge a man that gave me life, because I could have been in a napkin or in somebody's mouth somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I only got one mama, bro. In all reality,
You really spoke.
Maybe it's soft
hey,
too,
listen,
bro.
but
Don't
hold
discriminate.
on. But give me this.
Bing, bing, bing.
I have one mama.
Men's Talk on
I have one daddy.
Podcast.
No matter how good,
Yeah.
no matter how bad,
And both
they
teach
may
us how
have
to be.
There's no good and bad,
Maybe.
because we all get a chance to be adults. Once you become an adult, and if you can look back at your parents' age like I do, I look back at my 26s. I look back at my 32s. I look back at my 21s. I look back at them stages because I lived through them already. And then I can go to my parents and see, and my daddy was only 23 fucking years. That motherfucker ain't no shit about being no fucking father to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I can sit and really look at, you know what? He did the best that he could. But I also am thankful, because without him, there is no me. Your failures are my successes, because I'm always willing to understand and know.
But
and
I
have the
completely
empathy.
get the, like, even like my father's shortcomings. Like, I'm not dumb by any means. I can recognize for like the attributes and the things I see I do not want in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not that it was a bad lesson. It was a lesson.
Yeah.
But it also taught me what I want to be and what I don't want to be.
Good or
and even
bad.
on my mom's side, right? Like that overly coddling, that blah blah blah. Like there's a limit to it. Like I that's part of who I want to be, but that's also part of who I don't want to be. So both sides, regardless. And I wasn't trying to like dog it, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure a way to state the truth without it sound like fucking super dickish, but I just come across as a dick, so I'm just gonna kind of roll with it. You know, like, it is what it is. But like, I just want to get to a spot to where like I am.
Bro, you have to, in our reality, you have to realize, this is something that a lot of people say. Why you crying over spilt milk instead of going to go get a napkin and cleaning that shit up? Listen, that was spilled milk.
Because that could have went on my Lucky Charms.
It don't matter. Listen, what I'm saying, I'm just talking because this is men shit. And this is mental growth for all of us.
Oh, I'm learning right now, bro.
Whoever this it reaches in that light. So what I'm saying is,
they're too dumb to get it.
Look, what I'm saying is I'm willing to empathize with the past, but I'm not willing to accept it as my future. So whatever Pops did, I got one too, bro. Whatever happened, I learned not to be that from self-identifying as,
come on,
we are not the same. You are just a percentage of me, just like she is. So submission, right there. We going right back to that word. You have to submit to what you see as the man. Oh, I thought that was what a man really did, and submit to your reality of what a man can and should be. We submit every day. We just got to be willing to. We looking for too many nurturers and too many mommies to tell us it's okay. when we never will have that, because it has to be okay. It has to. No matter what, it has to. And if it's not, it's gonna be. And then if it's gonna be, I gotta strive for that gonna be. So that submission side of us that we have, and that 50-50 that everybody talk about, I don't like to talk about that, because in reality, he has a different life than all of us in here. He submits every day. But guess what? His submission ain't different than ours, because we submit every day, no matter what we go through.
That goes back to what Kiko said earlier, is that submission is... It varies. It's
all up and down.
It's up and down.
Mountain.
But you have to always be, as two, give it 100. And I agree with that, man.
Let's make it add up.
Hey, I'm going to tell the young bosses out here, little young lives, listen. This topic that we talking about today, it's a great topic. But at the same sense, it's not our topic. It's just not, it's not ours. Because as a man,
we don't think about this shit.
We don't. We know
We
what has to be
more
done
on accident,
and we need to stop searching for a way, an excuse or validation of what a man is. We just have to focus more on self, because until we go back to the old days, see, that's our biggest problem. We want this modern. We want the new way. There was nothing wrong with the old. Maybe a couple tweaks, but not these kind of tweaks.
Right.
We don't even know what a man and a woman
is in their self.
We don't even know what a man and a woman is these days anymore. It just comes with a sticker,
words,
a bat. I identify as this, so I be telling my brother all the time, because I'm a funny motherfucker. In all honesty, like if I go to the bath, like if we in a rush or we on the highway, because we drive, bro, so much
together.
No, bro. Like, okay. Anyway, so much. Like, if we go to a place that only has one bathroom for men, one bathroom for women, and I make it to the men's bathroom first, I'll be like, bro, identify. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you could just go use. I don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody. And you can come back, because ain't nobody in there. But you got to throw up your identify flag real quick, because the world that we in ain't the same one that we came from. We didn't even appreciate the world that we came from. Now we mad that we ain't in that time no more. Man. We gotta deal with what we gotta deal with now. If your woman ain't the modern kind of woman today, then guess what? Stop dating modern kind of women. If your woman is a traditional kind of woman, guess what? Hang out where traditional women kind of hang out. That's kind of hard, because maybe most of them are in retirement homes. Or in the crib, bro.
Yeah. Dr. Davis will tell you right now, I'll knock the cobwebs out of a pussy.
Listen, when you find
sugar mama, I'm looking for a sugar mama.
When you find your freedom, and this is why I keep telling everybody to take that one day.
Yes, sir.
If you take that one day for yourself,
it's a game
especially
changer.
As a single man, and just put it into a hobby, something that you like to do, you will be surprised by the woman you run across, because it fits your lifestyle at that point. And I just want to thank everybody, bro. This was an awesome topic. I can't wait to get
my
to the
boy
next
Dr.
one,
Davis
man.
over here. Hey, that's my
K84
guru,
podcast. Come on! We out of here.